This is Dungeon Not Included, the actual play podcast for the adventurous listener. You are listening to our game of Vampire the Masquerade from White Wolf Publishing. Frank is your storyteller. Alex plays Merryweather Quackenbush. Brennan plays Lex Deluxe. And Red plays Charlie Clark. Our theme music is by Seamus Ronan. Welcome to Dungeon Not Included. We're still playing our Vampires in Vegas game, only this week it'll be with a special twist. I don't know why I said it in a kind of announcer voice, but I think it kind of worked.
Wow, I can't believe we're really committing to the Twitch stream thing.
Hey, smash that like, subscribe bell. I don't know.
That's you.
I'm Frank. Yeah, I'm not good at this. I'm Frank, and I'm not good at this. I'm joined by Brennan and Rebel, who are playing the game. Alex isn't with us again this week. I think this might be the last week he will not be with us, unless the contract turns out well, and then things are going good for me. Alex and I have a history.
I guess so.
It's just weird.
If you want to know Frank and Alex's secret history, listen to the backlog of all Dungeon Not Included episodes.
Mm-hmm. It's in there. Trust me.
Listen, we've been laying the groundwork for this ARG the whole time.
Yeah.
If you found absolutely. The clues.
Yep. You know what? You have to leave a 5-star review on iTunes to really get the good clues. and then it works fine. Well. Yes. Oh man, yeah. Patreon is the sweetest plum. Yes. So last week we the game itself is set in 90s Las Vegas. Last week, Charlie, who is one of the two established Victorian era vampires in the game, finally shot the prince in the shoulder because he was being a dick. Is that pretty accurate, you think, Rebel?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's being nuts.
I mean, maybe just don't. When somebody says you did what, say who cares. That's not really the best way to make friends.
Yes,
or keep them.
So there's been a lot of will they, won't they kill each other in this game? And finally, the last scene of our last week's game, it seemed pretty obvious we need to dive deep into the background of these two major characters who have been around Las Vegas for quite a number of years. So we're going to do a historical game today. We have not pre-planned a lot of this. We're going to do that as part of this game, which is, I think, that's part of the fun. So let's get go. We do know, however, we did discuss that Brandon will be playing the part of Archie in this story. Okay, so tell me a little bit. I have the history of Las Vegas up. I know a bunch of things that are in universe that may or may not, have happened. I kind of I pencil it in and then it gets inked in if it happens in the game. And there's maybe a few things that have been inked in. We know that Archie is Ventrue, and we know that he's at least as old as Rebel, or at least he claims that. And we just established last week that Ventrue's clan flaw, they can only drink blood from a particular type of person. It's different for every Ventrue. The stereotype or the mythological whatever that they're trying to mimic there is that vampires drink the blood of virgins, but it could be anybody. It could be any specific thing. And I think we established in game, not afterwards as we were chatting, that Archie drinks the blood of the destitute. And I think that, that was definitely one of the things that pissed you off, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, made him as bad as he could be. So those are the things we have established, and we more or less have established that Archie and Charlie have been there for at least 100 years, which would bring us around the 1890s, but it could be even a little earlier than that. So what year were you embraced, Charlie?
I want to say in the 1860s. I'm going to say I guess like 1862, it doesn't really matter what particular number in the decade, but
Okay.
So like
yeah.
right before the Civil War ended.
All right, good. I think that is pretty much how I've been kind of penciled in Archie's background, and I think that makes sense. We could always ink in something specific. Brendan, you can feel free to do that whenever you want. So just in my little timeline here, and we kind of talked about this when we first started the podcast. This arc. So 1830s is when Europeans first found the desert springs that were Las Vegas. That's kind of way too early for us. 1860s, Nevada's admitted as the 36th state in the Union. And then bam, 1902 is when the railroad becomes a thing. And that's probably the closest we get to like a Las Vegas that we would consider Las Vegas. 1906.
That wasn't like a little tiny town around a spring.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking like really early 1900s. So I think that might actually be a good time to set the game. You've been a vampire for about 40 years or so, long enough to be still playing with your vampire character sheet as opposed to like some mortal character sheet and you're like, doing whatever you're doing. And it's early enough where it feels like this is a historical game and we're getting some background. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let's set it like flat out 1900s. We'll shave off a couple of years. Yeah. All right. That's actually most of the background I needed. What are you doing leading up to this point, Charlie? Do you need some background on what Vegas looks like at this point, or are you?
Yeah, that would be helpful, I think.
So it looks like in between these two moments, the Mormons are the ones who are maybe still running Las Vegas as of the 1850s, and that's probably waning out. So you've got like mining camps and like a town around a spring. It looks more like a little town in an old Western than it does like a big boom town because the railroad isn't there yet. And that first hotel hasn't been built and the movie theater isn't in yet. Or the regular theater isn't in yet, but it looks like that's what people are building towards, specifically because of mining. People still need to eat. So there are still cowboys around riding, cattle close enough, but it's probably not one of those areas where like, you're not making a major stop there because there's no train yet. But the hope, fingers crossed, is that there will be a train, and then it's another place to make money with cattle. And again, with your background, I think it's been about 40 years of being a vampire. Are you still cowboying? Are you not? How are you getting by?
I think so. I think like she probably continued being a cowboy for a little while, but it's kind of hard when you can't be out in daylight, you know? So, mining is actually more suited to her needs. Like she's underground all day. She can keep the same schedule she used to have. And, we talked about her being like a union organizer and stuff. I think she does a little bit of that too.
I love that. So you're heading out. You're trying your best to head out west or make do out west. Maybe even living off your cattle for a while because your humanity is really high. You could probably eat your cow. Well, not. Yeah. You know what I mean. Feed off them for a decent amount, but then you find a town with people in it, and you're immediately working with corrupt bosses, but instead of like running the cattle farm, they're running the mines, and you're doing your union work. I love it. I love that. All right, great. So Archie is from, I think I said Virginia originally.
Yeah.
So he's headed out west. When did he head out west? Is he just making out now? Is he trying to?
I think he's just making it out now.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's very old, but he knows that these towns are starting to get founded and he wants to be a prince somewhere.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right. So cool. He's very ambitious.
Immediately power hungry.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I think he was power hungry before he turned into a vampire.
But now he's hungry not only for power, but for blood.
That's right.
Do you want some background on how he was embraced, or do you want to figure that out yourself, or do you want just to see if it even comes up in play?
It might not even come up.
Yeah. All right. And then, so I think the big adventure hook here is that we're right on the dawn of the railroad coming. And a lot of money is coming and a lot of power is coming. And that doesn't necessarily bode well for the people who work there, but it could also be beneficial for the people who work there. And obviously that, has some built-in incentive for Archie. All right. There's going to be a big town meeting. It's supposed to be an open meeting, and everyone is allowed to come and talk and give their 2 cents. There's supposed to be a senator in the relatively newly founded Nevada territory, or now the Nevada state, that some big shot senator is not going to be there, but he is lobbying to get the Transcontinental Railroad to cut through Las Vegas. And that would mean major changes for everything. Amazingly, suspiciously perhaps, this meeting went from a thing that was going to happen during the day to something that was going to happen late at night. When asked about why, the people who are running these meetings said that there was which are people who own land in the city itself, who own buildings and things in the city itself. They said that, we want the working class to show up, and they're not allowed to get out of work early. So we want to make sure that this is real democracy. We're going to do this after the sun sets in the middle of town, and we want the workers present. And you could take that with whatever grain of salt you would like, both as players and as, more importantly, as characters in this. Like that is odd. That mortal world doesn't usually bend over so easily for your kind.
Nor does it bend over easily for the working class. So
exactly. Yeah, this is pretty suspicious every way you look at it. That's basically it. I think we've established enough to set our thing up. There's going to be a town hall, wooden framed town hall, not fancy at all, dirt road outside, and the people are gathering for this big stand that people are going to make, and they're going to make their informal arguments first about whether or not they want the railroad to get through. All right. So what are the two of you doing? How are you showing up at all? Or how are you going to get engaged?
Oh, Charlie's definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know that she's representing the other mine workers, but she's definitely there representing herself as a mine worker.
Okay.
Archie's definitely there as a railroad investor.
Okay. All right. So is he actually on the dais? Like he's part of the people who are trying to call this meeting and make this happen? Was he even one of the people who said, let's do this at night?
I think he probably was.
Okay.
He's very convincing when he wants to be.
All right. Yeah. And you basically had your way with the planning board, whoever the board was for the town, and got it done at night. Great. Okay. Yeah. So an old-timey judge guy starts banging his gavel, trying to get everyone to calm down. The saloon is still serving alcohol in the background. He says, we need to stop serving drinks. This is official business. We have to be dry when we're doing official business. Stop, close the bar. And people are arguing with him and yelling. And really just all the people are just being in like rabble. This is a party. You don't often go into town and they're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
After a little while, they do manage to get either enough people get their beers, or they manage to force the bar to actually close, and they're ready to start hearing arguments for and against. The first person who demands to speak is a man. We'll call him. Oh, we didn't get anybody. If you're anybody who's watching who wants to name a character, you could do so live, non-productive stream, twitch.tv/non-productive. You can name a character live. There's a little bit of a delay. Just throw in some character names and we will pull it up. We're going to name this first guy Stan. Oh, Bear. All right, you know what? I like this name too much. We're going to use this one. All right. Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer, first to be on. And you can feel free to name every character that shows up. Barry Switzer is a cattle magnate who owns pretty much all the land outside of Las Vegas that could potentially be used. Oh man, I spoke too soon. This is a cattle magnate's name. Look at that.
Laramie
Bensonhurst. Ooh, that's too good. Two rival cattle magnates, Barry Switzer and Laramie Bensonhurst. Okay, yeah, and Barry's first to speak. He owns a lot of the land outside of Las Vegas, and he thinks that this is going to be terrible. That that a train coming through the land is going to change everything. It's going to bring city folk in here. And there's no way it's going to be maintained. The spring is good, but it's not enough for anything to support a major city. This is a folly. It's going to be a waste of money. And Laramie interrupts and he says, "No, we need a place to sell our cattle. This is good. You already have stops outside up north. Well, we want a place near us where we could sell our cattle." And they start arguing, and it's not really a very active thing. Everybody else is either deep in their drink or kind of just swayed by whoever the most important person is who's talking at any given time. Do either of you want to do anything about this? Get involved at any point at this stage?
I kind of want to see what Archie's going to do before I do
Sure.
anything.
Sure.
As they're arguing, Archie's going to get up and walk forward and start to address the crowd,
Okay.
ignoring the arguing barons,
Mm-hmm.
the cattle barons.
All right. As they start arguing each other, and you're trying to take the stage. Let's see how well you do this. Are you going to evoke any sort of power, or is this just your pure charisma and stage presence?
I think it'll be charisma, and I don't have performance.
Leadership might be
I
a good
do have
one.
leadership, though.
Yeah.
Let's try a charisma leadership role.
All right. Difficulty will be 6.
There it is. Difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a single success.
Okay. Ooh, a lot of ones on that one.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're gonna, a few heads, people will turn and look at you and listen to you, but it almost now seems like 3 people are sort of just all talking at each other at once over each other.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Barry then,
Okay.
and I'm going to use my dominate on him. I'm going to catch his eye,
All right.
and I'm going to say quiet.
Okay. Interesting. That's just what there's
That's
a role
the
for
level
this, right?
1 dominate skill.
Yeah.
Command.
There is a role for this. I don't want to know what would happen if it failed. We'd immediately put brakes on the. We're gonna let that go. So
I think
he
it's
just,
manipulation, intimidation, or
I
something.
think so. I put it in the notes, the link to all the the actual roles, and then let's play it to see how well it does.
Okay. Let me just make sure that that's what I'm actually rolling. Command is manipulation, intimidation. So
Okay.
the best stuff that I'm good at.
So Charlie, this is a pretty boring conversation so far. It's 3 people really full of themselves. loudly just talking over each other until one of them turns to the other and tells them to be quiet. And the result is, ooh, that's a lot of dice.
5 successes.
Holy shit.
That's why you always roll, even if you're trying to get the podcast off the ground as fast as possible. It's actual play. Let the pauses happen and actually roll the dice. Okay.
God.
Yes, excellent. So tell me how amazingly what actually happens to Barry when he's told to be quiet.
He stops speaking. He looks, his eyes bulge slightly as he feels a little bit of outrage at this, but then he sits down.
All right.
Silently.
If there are no if there's no opposition to this, I would like this to be a moment where Charlie can definitely know that you are a vampire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, all right. Let's crack that egg as soon as possible. Okay. And he sits down. Without the person he's arguing with, Laramie also kind of goes quiet too.
Yeah. And then I'll turn to the crowd and I'll start explaining to them the benefits of the railroad. And I'm going to do this full huckster style, and everybody's going to get a chicken in their pot, basically, kind of speech.
Right. All right. That's good. And I think that's a fair thing to just narrate over and say it works. Yeah. Because, of course, historically, we know it does. So, Archie, you just take the stage and people eat it up and everyone's really excited. And he's saying all the right things, Charlie, I think, more or less.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it's going to lift up. Everyone's going to prosper from this. The workers will gain more money.
I think
more
Charlie
supplies will come to town.
Is probably going to stand up at this point and say, what does this specifically mean for the mines? I know that you said there are going to be supplies, but all these mine workers, if there's a railroad, are they going to lose their jobs?
No, there'll be more work for miners because the material that they're bringing out of the mines will be able to be hauled away faster.
All right. What happens when the mine gets depleted faster?
Well, once the city is established, there'll be jobs for the miners who are no longer working down there. Growth just helps everyone.
So
lifts all boats.
You're saying that you guarantee that if the mine closes production, there will be jobs for all the miners.
Absolutely. This town is going to be on the map.
I love it. So there's a wonderful moment where when Charlie first asks you a question and the the whole audience, all the mortals in the audience turn their faces and look at Archie. Like they expect him to have the answer, right? There's that moment, that high you get or Archie gets when everyone's paying attention. And you're answering these are okay answers. They make sense and they sound good, but there's this moment where people are very excited. One of the miners stands up and goes like, "You hear that? We're guaranteed work forever." And if this were like a series, there'd be an Easter egg where that miner looks a lot like either Weary or Wise, who are hanging out in the gypsum mine in the future, but less vampire-y. But yeah, okay. People seem to be cheering. The bar is going to be forced to open again in a minute, and they seem excited about it. They don't have many questions for what the future holds, because everyone but Charlie seems to be really preoccupied with the immediate future, which makes sense considering your long lifespan.
You live for 60 years and you start thinking about what's coming after what's next.
Right.
Exactly. Howard Johnson is right. Yes, it is Blazing Saddles in the bar. Everyone is cheering and shouting, and the bar has been forced to be reopened. There's plenty of people there to talk to if you'd want to, but also there's a moment where you can talk to each other. I have no problems also, Brennan and Rebel, if you want to use the excuse of the one long-sighted person sitting in the bar or sitting in the town hall, asking them questions about what will happen in 100 years when the mine is done, may also be a vampire. If you want that revelation to be there, then you can have a moment where the two immortals talk. I think that's a conceit we can accept.
For sure.
So are you going to go talk to Archie after this whole thing is over?
I think I am, because right now he is a position of authority, and it's an authority that I don't think has mine or people like me's best interests at heart. So I will go see Archie.
Well, yeah, after Archie's done glad handing all of the people up at the stage,
mm-hmm.
he'll come down towards the bar, seemingly looking around for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charlie has a whiskey, but is not currently drinking it. And when he's done, parading himself around, she'll kind of wave him over to her table. It's not out of earshot, but everybody's too busy celebrating to be paying attention,
Yeah, he'll come sit down by you and take off his hat, as is polite.
Right.
Twirls his mustache a little bit, waxes his mustache.
Okay, Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah.
So Charlie sort of gestures with her drink and says, listen, I understand that you're very good at talking so that people listen, but how much substance is there behind your words?
There's a lot of money coming this way. Not everybody's gonna do as well as others, but it'll be here for the taking for people who want to.
In my experience, generally when there's money coming in, it ain't going into the pockets of the people on the bottom. How do I know that this railroad comes and the miners get left in the dust?
Well, that's not my intention.
Certainly, but as much as you say you guarantee a job for every miner, if the mine closes down, that don't mean that there's going to be one. How are you going to uphold that promise?
Well, as long as I plan to live here, I'm going to keep Las Vegas on the map.
And how long is that exactly?
Indefinitely.
I
Very
love
vague.
that. I love how ominous that statement was. As long as I plan to live here, I plan on keeping Las Vegas on the map. What happens when you leave? minus 42. Carpetbaggers. This is hitting home for someone out there. Yes. For those of you listening in the podcast, tune in live if you can. Monday nights, twitch.tv/non-productive. Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. So a nice first meeting of the two of you, not necessarily super friends, but also at the same time, you've basically allowed each other to know where you're standing on the big issue of the day. I'm going to interrupt and throw in another person. Eustace McCain walks up to both of you at the bar, coughing pretty aggressively, an older gentleman who is on the board of trustees. He's not the mayor, but he's basically a person who's in charge of the town, who you may only dimly know or know very well, depending on your how much research you've done. He orders a drink and literally comes in between the two of you in the most annoying way possible, mostly paying attention to Archie, but at the same time, like giving you Charlie a head nod. Apparently he knows something about the miners and knows better than to screw around with the people who bring most of the money into the small town. Your name, sir? You're that Stewart chap.
That's right, Archie Stewart.
Archie Stewart, from back east.
That's correct.
Well,
a Virginian originally.
Oh, civilized land. What side of the war? Never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. We have an issue, a big one, and maybe it'll need a man's touch. Someone like you.
I'm sorry. Hi. What's the problem?
You're that miner lass that out in the mines working with what's your pit boss's name again?
Howard Johnson.
Howard Johnson, that's right. Yes, Howard Johnson, that's right. Yes, well, this doesn't really concern the mines at all. You folks will have jobs for a while, I'm certain, but we do have a major political problem that I'd like to talk to this strapping young man about.
The man who doesn't live here, knows nothing about the town, and literally has only his own interests to look out for.
Yes. He's from back east. They do things right back there. So
what's that supposed to mean?
Archie. We do have an issue. The town is running broke, and it takes some greasing of the wheels to get the gears of the train to stay on track to get to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I understand.
Yes, there are wheels involved in trains. I mean, they're smaller, but they're not wagon wheels, but they still need to be greased. Money is what I'm saying. And the town doesn't have enough of it. The people in charge, they've lost their taste for this kind of living. Most of them have gone Utah way, if you know what I mean.
I see. Well, I'm very interested in this town. I think it's got a future.
Good. Well, we're looking for young men who think of the future and have deep pockets.
I will pat him on the shoulder and I'll say, no worries there, my friend. No worries there. And then I order him a drink.
Oh, good. I enjoy drinking. He starts drinking and he keeps trying to very subtly say how much they need bribe capital to make sure that the train actually gets in through here. He says there are people out there who say that there are powers that be who don't want this to happen. I don't know why, but they have deep pockets of their own, and they seem to be throwing a lot of money to the senator to get this train going the other way. Not literally. I mean, yes, the train goes back and forth both ways, but just not stopping here is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why anyone would want to do this, but they seem convinced.
Well, we'll see if we can convince them otherwise.
Okay. Good. It's good we have someone from the east on our side. We need this to work out.
I'll pay for the whiskey with $100.
Wow, that basically covers most of the bar tab, I think.
Yeah.
And that shocks him enough to basically be mumbling to himself for the rest of the night, unless a player character wishes to interact with him more.
Not particularly. He was rude.
No.
Good choice.
Good choice. Yes.
Yeah. That's most of this meeting is gonna basically it devolves quickly into drinking, but most people seem excited by the notion that this is going to become a real town, that they're not underneath the heels of the kind of the religious groups that were in charge 50 or so years ago and kind of left it to disrepair. That's basically the buzz about town, but there is a lot of people who are worried about outside influencers. That may or may not include Archie, but it doesn't seem like it. They all seem to be on Archie's page, but there are other outside influencers that they seem worried about.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those Instagram fitness models, I know.
Yes. They are, what was the word I had used? They're plebes. So stupid. Yes. The night goes on. Do you want to go back to your respective places, or is there more to be done? What's next?
I'm going to see about bringing Charlie around.
Sure. Yeah. What exactly does that entail? Because after Charlie has a few sips of whiskey and throws it up, she's gonna probably head. I don't know. I think she would probably leave the town meeting to go to a place that's more working class friendly, because obviously everybody's already super into this train idea.
Is there another saloon in town, or is it just the one?
I think at this point there is just the one, but there definitely are people who came just for the saloon and have had no intention of being part of the political conversation. So if you're looking for something apolitical, that could be it. That's the working class area,
Yeah.
All right. That sound good?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Archie will trail along behind you.
I hope you don't mind getting dust on your fancy shoes.
Dust brushes off.
Not when you work in it for years.
Well, I'm sure you would know. You're a bit of a leader among these miners, I take it.
I'm not really being followed, but I do try to look out for all of us, even if people aren't interested in it.
Very good. You seem to have a good heart.
Well, that's sort of the basic requirement for living in a community, so yeah.
Well, I just want you to know that I have plans to make this community thrive.
Yeah, see, I've been around a while. May not look it, but I have. And usually when people talk about community, they mean their community, and anybody else who doesn't fit with them can go to hell. So I'm going to take what you say with a grain of salt.
That's fair. I just don't want you to think that I'm some fly-by-night.
Well, you got any proof you aren't?
Oh, I plan on staying here for some time.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Very good.
So by the time you get to the bad part of the bar, or where people are basically drinking outside and enjoying themselves, there's a rousing chorus of "Charlie!" as quite a few people from work who recognize you and are perhaps a little bit kinder to you than maybe you want. I actually don't know what's your relationship with the humans you work with.
No, I think Charlie's pretty friendly. Like, she doesn't go out that much, but she'll like talk to people she works with. She'll like have conversations, talk about life, stuff like that.
Okay, great. So yeah, they greet you when they see you. It's not like they see you every day, and they've been in their drink already, so they're very happy in general. And these are kind of down and out people who, sold the earth, working hard and barely making it by. And Archie, you have probably been on the road for a little while,
Right.
and probably been greasing palms a lot of the way, just trying to make yourself happy and look good. And this is a group of destitute people that sound like a wonderful opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to buy everybody around.
All right. And you immediately become everyone's favorite person again in this location. They stop saying Charlie and they say Archie. And yeah, they're pretty deep into their drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if I have anything else to do in a conversation with Charlie at this point, but one of these people is definitely going to disappear.
All right. Sounds good. How does the night wrap up for Charlie?
I think she, hangs around, slowly sips her whiskey, and then heads off to wherever she's holing up. I don't think much more leeway could be made in this relationship at this point in time, but we could fast forward ahead a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Well, I guess we could do a few years. That's how you wrap up your night. We know that a person goes missing for Charlie. So what I was planning on doing was having an attack announced by the next day. But if you'd rather do a fast forward of a few years, we could play that out as well.
I think that makes more sense. I mean, we're old, and a day, a week, a month, even.
Years.
That's not that much time, but a couple of years, you start to get to know people a little bit better. I think.
All right, I'm totally on board for this. So my original plan was to do like one impactful first meeting game of the two of you, but we could instead do like a game that's like every couple of years, and we'll see how your relationship matured. Okay, so it's 1902. The train is here. It was successfully came in. Everything got settled out. That whole episode about the werewolf attack, no one even paid attention to it.
Some people got convinced to let the train come through.
Exactly. So, what is life like now in Vegas with the train? First few days, or months, or years?
It's definitely brought in a lot more people. It's bustling more than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
The gypsum mines are actually producing more because they don't have to haul it out on wagons anymore.
Right. Okay. How is Archie set up? We'll ask you first.
He has a nice big house in town.
All right. Okay. And what is he in town? You still don't have a day life.
He's not a day life person. He's a behind the scenes guy as far as the town government is concerned. He's probably used his powers to get them all very compliant to the things that he wants to have happen in town.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
He's got them all on his side, basically.
All right.
But they're not like ghouls or anything.
Right. All right. Now that Charlie is, what about Charlie? What has happened for Charlie in the last few years?
So Charlie has still been working in the mines. I think she may have been promoted just because she's a loyal, hard worker, you know. But there have been a lot more accidents since production has kicked up, and she's trying to make it a little bit safer for the people who work there, and it's not going great. And I think behind the scenes, some of these accidents are Archie feeding on these people.
I love that. I think that makes a lot of sense. At least some of them would be, yeah.
Like, not all of them, obviously, because, mining accidents are a thing, and, horrible working conditions, et cetera. But every one or two people who, get buried in the mines probably just get drunk by Archie.
I like that. Okay, very good. So in terms of the Camarilla and anything else, there's been no sign of any major influence of vampires in this area, which is not to be expected. It's only been a few years. Mass transit just happened, and there's not many vampires in the New World to begin with, for the most part. That might change because Archie, you get word that there is an organization. Somebody wants to meet up with you. They say that you have mutual interests and mutual lifestyle concerns, and they wish to talk to the person who's most in charge at Las Vegas, a princely man named Archie Stewart. And everything about the letter and the language, and it suggests to you that this person, and the fact that they're reaching out to you and you're not publicly anything in this town, suggests that this might be the Camarilla or something. This might be the vetting process. All right, so they want to speak with you and any other of your kind, and they even spell it the right way, Kine, that are in the town. Podcast listeners, Rebel rolled their eyes. So any mention of any kind of lexicon from Vampire the Masquerade? Oh, yes.
That's what you're missing out not watching this, is that I roll my eyes so often at the shit that goes on in this game. It's ridiculous.
It is really bad. So they want to speak to any other of your kind. And you could help me set the stage of where this should be. And
I assume by this point I know that Charlie's a vampire.
Yeah, I think we established that you had your suspicions when you first met. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if we didn't invitation to Charlie as well.
Okay. Sounds great.
Slipped in your cave.
Yeah. I don't think I live in an actual cave. I just work in the cave.
Why not? Hey, we've all been working from home. It just becomes easier at one point. You're just like, I'm just gonna become a troll.
Just live in the mine.
Yeah. I decided to become a troll a couple months ago, and I think I'm fine, more or less.
Where's your hair?
That pulled it out. All right, so yes, you get an invite from Archie, who very odd. What's the invite actually say, Archie?
It says you're invited to an important meeting regarding the disposition of the town for our kindred.
Wow, that's so stupid. Charlie will accept, but she hates everything about the letter.
Excellent.
When they meet up, she's like, dude, you can just say, talk like a normal person. Like, you remember that you were a human, right?
I kind of like the fact that Archie seemed to struggle with it as well. It could have been Brendan struggling with it, but there is a good read where Archie is also like, oh, I've never done this before. Oh, man. The fact that Brendan and I played this game so much back in the 90s, and right now we are struggling to be dramatic in our language. I feel like that speaks very well of who we are as people. We've turned out pretty okay.
You've grown and matured beyond Vampire the Masquerade.
Never. No, it's still great, and I enjoy the hell out of it. But I did not change the way I talk to people on an everyday basis. All right, so you're the host. Where do you want to host this?
It's going to be hosted in the basement of the city hall.
Oh, all right, very good.
Oh, we're establishing that early. Okay.
All right. So yeah, it's just you and Charlie, unless you want to invite any of the other vampires we may have mentioned over the course of this game.
Well, I don't know exactly how many there are in town at the moment.
So I mean, for the most part, there aren't many or at all, but you can definitely pull out any. Weary Wise are both options. And
I don't think they're being called that at this time, though.
Probably not. And we could call them something else. Who else did we talk about as vampires?
The Creep.
I don't think the Creep's around yet.
Yeah, it felt like the Creep was a newer turn. I don't remember if we established any other vampire.
We didn't talk about any others.
Yeah, no. So
there aren't that many in Vegas that are named at the very least.
Yeah, in 90s Vegas. If there's somebody else that you've met or try to recruit over here, we definitely could have them there. If it's just you and Rebel, that could be.
I think it's just us at this point because the town's still pretty small.
Okay, and I think this also establishes that Weary and Wise have not showed up yet. That's great. Yeah. And it also makes those knowing glances that you two have been having in the past couple episodes of this podcast makes it more significant. You really were the only game in town for a long period of time.
Right.
All right. So yeah, you meet up. You have a couple minutes or whatever, however long you want to talk about what the plan is moving in. Is Archie nervous? Is Charlie like eye rolling?
Charlie's probably eye rolling, but Archie seems excited. And he says, there are some people coming to contact us regarding, our type of people in town. And we will probably be establishing a government.
Quick question. We're the only two people in the room at the moment? Yes. Dude, you can just say vampires. There's nobody else here.
You never know who might be listening.
Yeah, because, if I heard two people saying, "Oh, I'm a vampire," I would definitely not think they were a delusional wackadoo. I would definitely think that they were a real, actual vampire.
Very well. We'll have it your way.
I'm just saying, yes, no, whatever. Blood sucking in front of regular people, but you can chill out a little bit. That's all I have to say.
I'm not sure that's possible.
I love it. Before too long, a person does come to the door. A group of 3 individuals. They are dressed in riding cloaks, which is a little out of time right now. They definitely came in on the train, but they are still covered in dust, and there's not a lot of paved roads outside, so it's possible. It makes a little sense. And they just sort of unceremoniously, because there's no one to announce them or anything, knock on the door.
Okay.
Which one of you is Archie? The person speaking is dark-skinned, does not seem to be breathing, has pronounced canines, and looks famished.
It's this one.
Yeah.
That one.
He takes a look at you, Archie, and
I'm dressed
immediately.
I'm very nicely in a suit.
Okay.
You know,
All
my
right.
mustache is very well kempt.
Very nice. And Charlie, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing overalls and like a t-shirt, and they're definitely smudged with like dirt and stuff.
I love it. I love the fact that Archie invited one person, the only other vampire. It was like, Charlie's like, nope, this is it. Not gonna do anything else. All right.
I'm
great.
me, man. What do you want?
Just one of the many things we lack in this podcast without Alex being here is the reminder to constantly ask what people are wearing, because that is really a strong suit. Yes. So the person immediately crosses the distance between himself and Archie and kisses him on each cheek once, twice, three times, as if like old friends and he hasn't seen them in years. And it's off-putting for probably Archie, and I don't know about whether or not it is for Charlie, but it is a very close, weird human gesture.
Don't invade my personal space, please. Like, I don't know what Archie's deal is, but like, don't do that to me.
The person bows deeply and says, I don't even know what he says. Of course, I would never think of doing such a thing. You are?
Charlie Clark.
My name is Metatron. These are my associates, Ella and James.
I would say that sounds like a Transformer name, but Transformers haven't been invented yet.
It is a biblical name. And an invention that did happen.
Right.
Invention that did happen, yes.
I don't know why he's referencing things that happened out of character, but that's okay. He's that good. We are so happy to find other kindred in this town. This godforsaken country seems empty of anything but what are those things called? They're like bowls of plant. Bowls of
like
plant.
Tumbleweeds?
The tumbleweeds, yes. Oh, they're terrible. But yes, this whole country seems empty and devoid of anything but those things. And the trees with the big spikes.
That's a cactus, not a tree. Different species.
Elle and James both kind of look impatient at the person speaking, but they kind of have little smiles and welcoming faces on. Also noticeable fangs, also noticeably hungry.
Archie will say, well, allow me to welcome you to Las Vegas.
It's a pretty shitty town, to be honest.
It is small. It will grow.
Yes. And it has grown a lot in the last few years. We have been watching. We try to stop it, in fact. But you are very persistent, Archie. Can I call you Archie? Would you prefer Mr. Stewart? I don't want to.
You may call me Archie if you wish.
Good. Yes. I mean, this little watering hole became a big deal under your guidance. Don't think we haven't noticed that.
What exactly did you not want it to be a big deal?
We had financial reasons for it to be a big deal elsewhere, and it didn't work. No harm. We hold no grudges. If our benefactors really wanted us to have done a good job, they would have funded us better in the beginning instead of having us scurry around now trying to make up for lost years' work. Right? No harm. I assure you. But yes, we banked on the wrong town and I guess lost that bet. But we're here to make a deal with you. You're the big hot shot in town, and we'd like part of the action.
Charlie's glaring at them. Archie, on the other hand, seems unfazed by this and says, but of course, we we can make a deal.
Well, let's talk over a meal. I'm sorry, we're famished. It took a while to get here, and there's only so much time you could spend in a sleeping car without people being suspicious.
Of course. Yeah, Charlie.
I kind of assumed you'd be providing the meal.
It can be provided.
All right.
I'm
well,
sorry. I'm sorry. I just think we should consider the fact that we are eating people, and I don't know, maybe we should think about that before deciding to talk over a meal.
I don't think I understand your accent. What are we talking about? Are we picking which kind of people we want to eat? That's a little decadent for me.
I just mean, it's important to consider the fact that these people live their lives, and maybe we shouldn't just talk about them like they're a chicken.
The chicken lives its life and doesn't seem to complain that we talk about it like a chicken.
That's because the chicken isn't a person. You do know what people are, right? You didn't forget.
Archie, you and I can't remember if I got your name.
You did. It's Charlie.
Charlie. You're the only two vampires in this town?
So far, it's a small town, as you mentioned.
Right. Charlie, you just live your day thinking about people and not hurting anyone.
Well, I gotta eat, but I think about it and I make sure that they're okay with it before I do it.
You know, there's a saying, when in Rome, you show me how you eat and we will eat like that. How about it, James? L, you good? And they kind of nod like, yeah, we really have a lot of work to get through. So let's just do this. Okay. Show us how we do in this Las Vegas city of saints.
City of saints.
That's the other place. Yeah. So, how are you going to get them food or encourage them to go get food?
So, man, I know how Charlie does it in the 90s, but I don't know how she does it in the 1900s.
We know how Archie does it, so
right.
But he's not going to let on that that's how he does it to Charlie. So
I think actually what Charlie, I'm trying to think. I think Charlie in this time period, she does mostly eat animals, but occasionally she'll
take a sip.
And how she does it is she has probably one person that she trusts that she asks for a drink from occasionally if they'll oblige.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a whole nother side story I want to get one day. All right. So there's not much you can do to help them. Yeah.
Archie says, "Listen, I'll help them find some food. We'll meet back here in a couple of hours. How does that sound?"
Sounds good.
Oh, I love that. That's so mean. All right. Yeah, you have no choice. Charlie doesn't have much of a choice on that. Just look the other way and hope for the best.
Well, I don't think I'm going to let them kill any of my people.
Mm-hmm.
They can have a drink, but they can't kill people.
Okay.
And I'll wipe their memories.
All right. Perfect. So after what?
Terrible.
It's terrible. but
Truly
perfect.
horrible.
Yeah. And I love it's like everyone is making moral decisions here that are awful. Especially I liked that Charlie did too, because like Charlie just was like, all right, I'll just leave and I'm sure nothing bad will happen. But what was gonna happen?
Nobody got killed.
Great. Yeah, no one did get killed. But it's almost better to like, what is Charlie's perspective of what is happening right now, right? It could be anything. That's interesting.
Like she's not comfortable, but she is letting whatever is happening happen. So
yeah, and that's I think is the sweet. That's the sweet spot of World of Darkness, is the doing bad things, and also like even if you're not doing bad things, you're doing bad things. We are way over. We're at 9:05. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I don't mind
think
going.
This was important establishing stuff. You know?
Yeah. I think we could probably do this one more time, and even if Alex wants to play some retro character, he has a couple we just introduced. And I think maybe we can continue this on. I want to end on a strong point, and I think maybe it'll be back after the dinner, when everybody's had the dinner. Even running this game is dirty.
Horrible.
Yeah. So a lot of time you meet back up, and the people who have met up with you, the three vampires who've come from out of town, and said, well, now let's get to business. Archie, you and your, for lack of a better word, coterie, have done a great job of beginning the civilization of this town. But you can't do it all on your own. There's no possible way. And we know for a fact that the Camarilla haven't even turned their eyes to this place yet. So what we're offering you, the two of you, is another option. We have benefactors that have deep pockets. And we think it might be a great place for a hotel. It's already a stop. Why not make it a destination? Put down roots, build out some hotels, make this place a place humans would want to visit. And then, and only then, other vampires, maybe even the Camarilla, will turn their gaze here. And then you'll feel what real power is like. We represent a group called the Great Belzoni. Circus act, for the most part. Traveling show. And we think we could put on some interesting performances here. Out of the immediate gaze of mortal or immortal scrutiny, and see what happens. What do you think?
I'm intrigued by your idea, but I would like to know a little bit more about your act.
Okay, in due time, we can go through the details, and I'm sure, make up something that's really great for the community. I mean, it's the humans we really need to bring over here. They're the cattle. They're the fodder. So you tell us more about these people. We'll make it worth their while to come out and visit.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Here's the thing is, why would we want more vampires here?
Well, when you're on your own, you're only as strong as your culture, your society. We aren't human. We're vampires. Don't you want to accomplish anything, to have company in your immortal life, to have actual power, security? You're out in the wilderness here. These mortals can turn on you at any moment. The nature can turn on you at any moment. And to live 100, 200, 300 years out here in the desert, why wouldn't you want to have a stake in this land? No pun intended.
You're talking a big game, but there's already a community here. Just because maybe you live a little bit longer than the other people in it, don't mean you're not part of that community. So, again, I'm asking, why would you want more vampires if all they're going to do is leech off the community?
I think I understand. You've only been embraced 100 years, maybe.
Closer to 60.
Time weighs on all of us in different ways. Eventually, you won't be able to get by just on cow flesh and blood or the pity of a few people. And he's specifically mentioning things you're doing in your life, which is a little
creepy.
A little creepy. You will eventually see the people you care for now as just empty vessels. You may even try to embrace a few just to have company in your own life. That's what got vampires into this mess in the first place. It's inevitable. It's going to happen one way or the other. You'll either be staked and left out into the sun, or you will eventually lose the battle, lose your humanity, and become a monster. Monsters we are, less monsters we become. We take small sips. No one died for this table. We take only enough to make it alive. We're taxes. We provide a service to the community. In this case, a top-tier traveling show, hotel like you cannot believe, maybe even, I almost said airport because I totally forgot what year we were in. Maybe, I guess there could have been an airport. There could be something. Biplanes. No. Just establishing a place where humans would want to go. And yes, it costs them a little blood, but it keeps our humanity. You know what I'm saying?
And Archie's going to turn to Charlie and say, this is all part of the immortal life that we have now. We must have people around. We must make sure that there are enough people around that we are not, we don't stick out.
It's good to protect yourselves.
I think this town can be bigger. I think this town can sustain more people, more of our kind.
Well, I guess I see your point. I guess there's more for the community, regardless of who you're including in that number. And with that, she gives a pointed look at Metatron.
Right. Oh, and man, look what Vegas became.
Yeah. Metatron says, there's another saying. How does it go? Rising waters lifts up all boats. We're gonna lift everyone up forever.
I've heard that one before.
We'll talk the details. It'll be great. I think that
that's a good place to stop.
Good place to stop. I also think we could play it by ear next week. It could either be more of the next few years of their relationship, but we've already established a hell of a lot.
I think so.
Of why Charlie and Archie have that kind of friendly but not at all friendly relationship.
Yes.
Acquaintances. Like, you've seen a lot of the dirty stuff that was done when it always looked like it wasn't that dirty.
Right.
I like that a lot. That was great. All right. Fun. I hope you all enjoyed watching us play or listening to us play. Subscribe to our podcast wherever you get fine podcasts. Or even bad podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere. Yeah. And leave us a 5-star review, and we will give you more of the secret history between me and Alex. Yes, and. Hey there, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Dungeon Not Included. If you did, please tell a friend and leave us a 5-star review and encouraging comments on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. It really does help spread the word for new shows like ours. You can follofollow the latest from the Dungeon Not Included crew on Twitter at DNI Crew, and over at Facebook at Dungeon Not Included, or at our home on the Non-Productive Network at Non-Productive.com/DNI Crew, where you can find articles, character sheets, and Patreon exclusives, as well as our latest episodes. Thanks!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.